People buy organic food because it helps the environment and it's more natural. They also do it to avoid chemicals and serious illnesses. In actuality, the USDA labels organic as free of synthetic fertilizers, synthetic pesticides, GMOs, and free of sewage sludge. Other countries and regions have similar regulations. Advertising, television, and media outlets have glamorized the word organic, making it a staple to green living. But high prices, accessibility, and the back and forth between scientists on whether organic food is actually better for us have left people feeling confused. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Green Lab Coat. If you enjoy living a healthy lifestyle that is backed by science, make sure to subscribe for more videos. Also, make sure to hit that like button to help the algorithm. Glad to see you here. Healthy soil that can aid in a plant's growth is the foundation of organic foods. By coupling that with water and natural fertilizers, fruits, vegetables, and grass for animal grazing are thought to thrive. One of the best things that organic farming has done for the planet is green crop rotation. When a crop is grown in the same spot, it tends to suck the nutrients out of the soil. But when it's rotated with beans and legumes, the soil is left unharmed, leaving it with the ability to suck the carbon out of the plant rather than it being released back into the air. A big plus is that healthy soil keeps carbon locked underground. Now, healthy soil isn't enough to grow plants the way we want them to. This is where fertilizers and pesticides come in to help. Now, we are currently using more than 1 billion pesticides in the United States every single year. Roundup is actually found in 70% of water samples, but natural fertilizers like manure have shown to be a better substitute. The idea of manure on our food sounds awful, but because it's unharming, brings life to the soil, and makes it fertile, it makes it a better alternative. Manure also has a lot of nitrogen in it. Because it takes so much energy to create nitrogen, with regular fertilizers, it's a lot less damaging to the planet. Also, because manure breaks down more slowly, the nutrients are released gradually into the plant, causing a lot less damage and pollution into rivers and streamways, unlike regular fertilizers that are spread in reckless ways. Studies supporting biodiversity aren't conclusive, but it makes sense that if something is chemical-free, insects and wildlife are likely to stick around for a longer period of time. Practices like weeding, instead of using herbicides, have also helped bees stick around longer, helping out the shortage of honey, which has been brought down by pesticides. A very important thing to keep in mind is that small-scale organic farming has a more positive impact on the environment than large-scale organic farming. Reason being is because we are currently using 1% of land globally just for organic farming. This means we have to use a lot more resources, a lot more than with conventional. And for this reason, this is a huge setback as to why organic farming on a large scale isn't truly economically friendly. Now, for reasons such as this, large-scale organic farming should be avoided and not supported. Small-scale organic farming is the way to go. I, like many other people, want to bite into a sweet, juicy pear and not have to worry about it having any chemicals or pesticides. And even though experts recommend for us to shop locally or at a farmer's market, one look at the price tag and it'll have you running back to your car on the way to a regular grocery store instead. The good news is that you can be choosy about which organic foods you buy. The EWG website has updated its list of the Dirty Dozen and has done so every single year. So I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys that list. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Dirty Dozen, it's basically the top 12 produce items that have the most amount of pesticides. If you guys want to shop organic, these are definitely the ones to consider. So starting down the list, we have strawberries. Because strawberries are grown so low to the ground, they're more prone to insect contamination. This means that they are spread with a lot more pesticides. Number 2, we have spinach. Because spinach leaves are very thin, they're very likely to absorb a lot of pesticides as well. Number 3, we have kale, collard greens, and mustard greens. Although the leaves aren't as thin as spinach leaves, they still absorb a lot of pesticides, and you can choose to buy these organic as well. Now for items 4 through 12, we're going to go ahead and read off that list. We have nectarines, apples, grapes, cherries, peaches, pears, celery, and tomato. The last 2 that I want to add to the list is meat and dairy. Reason being is because they both contain antibiotics and added hormones. So if you're going to shop organic, make sure to get organic milk and organic meat. So on the flip side, Skimp where you can. When it comes to our health and the effects of organic food on us, studies just aren't showing significant benefits. Now, one study containing 4,466 participants who all had atherosclerosis had their long-term dietary exposure assessed. What they found was that the urinary samples of the people who had less pesticides were linked to eating more organic foods. The people who had higher residues of pesticides also were linked to lower, if not any, organic foods at all. The Norwegian mother and child cohort study consisted of over 35,000 pregnant women. This was ran from 2002 to 2008. Now, what the study found was that women who were pregnant and consumed organic foods were at a lower risk of preeclampsia. Additionally, for the pregnant mothers who consumed a lot of high-fat milk during pregnancy and was non-organic, their infant boys were at a higher risk for hypospadias. Finally, a meta-analysis from the British Journal of Nutrition found that antioxidants in organic foods were 18 to 69% higher than conventional foods. Now, 18 to 69% is a pretty big gap. That's pretty much like paying more for something for it to maybe be more beneficial. Overall, evidence isn't sufficient to long-term health. The need for studies to measure health benefits rather than just the reduction of pesticides is important. Experts advise that eating an overall healthy diet is more important than whether or not you eat organic foods. Americans fall short of fruits and vegetables every day, so it's better to increase your produce intake. Let's go ahead and talk about accessibility. As mentioned earlier, experts have advised us to shop at farmers markets or local shops. The problem is that affluent people are willing to pay more, many times keeping these shops near them. Now, what this does is it sometimes causes an accessibility problem for certain demographics, specifically those of lower income. Now, it makes sense why a business would want to go to where the business is, but if a low-income family wanted to shop the Dirty Dozen, they would probably have to drive a lot farther. That's not to mention if they could even afford these foods. Now, production cost for organic food is a lot higher, making the cost for the food itself a lot higher as well. The good news is that organic foods is available at conventional grocery stores as well. And the majority of people in the United States have access to these grocery stores. This is probably why the accessibility issue isn't talked about too much. However, this would also mean that more affluent people are mainly the ones that are contributing to the organic industry. But at the same time, because studies have shown that organic food is an essential to human health, people of those lower income demographics can sigh a breath of relief knowing that all they need to do is eat fruits, vegetables, and proteins. It doesn't have to be organic. The main reason we can't switch all conventional farming for it to be organic is because we have more than 7 billion people in the entire world. Because organic farming provides lower yields than conventional farming, there just wouldn't be enough food to go around to feed everybody. After all is said and done, the majority of us don't need organic foods. Pregnant women who are high risk are a tad bit more vulnerable, and they can choose to go organic if they want to. Even then, I would only recommend shopping the Dirty Dozen, because risks aren't significant. Nutritionally, organic food isn't better for us. The best thing that we can do is make sure our fruits and vegetables are washed thoroughly. We shouldn't just be asking, is food good for us, but also, is it good for the planet? By supporting small-scale organic farming instead of large-scale organic farming, picking and choosing what foods to buy organic and then buying the rest conventional, as well as possibly growing our own veggie gardens in our backyards to double the amount of carbon and greenhouse gases that is being sucked from the air, we're benefiting our health, the environment, and not running out of food to feed everyone at the same time. If you happen to be one of those people that doesn't have access to organic foods, I wouldn't sweat it. There's plenty of other ways that you can help the environment that have nothing to do with organic foods. In the end, the choice is yours.